Hello everyone, and welcome to Courageous Conversations. I have created this series of stories, we can call them, to highlight people who are really doing the work, courageous and brave people who are coming in and really doing the work to expand themselves and our planet. We cut the spiritual fluff in these conversations. We honor that the shifts are really fast, and I want to share with you all how powerful this work can be, and how magnetic it is, and how the universe benefits so strongly, and how courageous these people are that I've chosen. And Jade Sparks is my first guest, the beautiful Jade. Hi, Jade.
Hi.
Yeah, so we're just, authentic, real talk, really, really looking into, and there's Dante's in the background. We want to welcome him as well because he's really special and he understands we're doing some powerful work here. So he's like, I'm just going to hang around a bit. All right. So, hi, Jade. I just want you to just do a little quick intro about yourself, and then we'll get into our conversation. So welcome.
Hi, Simone. Hello, everyone else. Don't mind the noise in my background. My dog is, everyone's here, so I'm safe to eat my food. So,
Love
um,
him.
but my name's Jade. I started my spiritual journey about 4 years ago, like right around COVID, right before, and followed my meditations to Europe. I teach meditation techniques and I also build websites and help other people's dreams come true and create more financial abundance. And that's what I do.
And you're a fantastic sound healer too. Don't forget
Yes,
that.
the one of the most favorite meditation techniques that I host are sound therapy and Hertz frequency sessions with crystal sound bowls and a hand pan, and it's amazing, and I love them so much.
Awesome, awesome. All right, let's get into the nitty. So I just want to talk to you about the moment. So the pivotal point when you met that fork in the road, when you decided to, well, not that you decided, that you were almost pushed into, but it is a decision, it's a choice, pushed in to find that bravery to step into this place wholeheartedly where you knew that you needed to really heal, where you knew that you really needed to change something in your life, or otherwise, right, you were going to go down a destructive pathway or a further destructive pathway. So I just want you to, as much as you want to expand on that, talk to that.
Sure, sure, yeah. In January of 2020, right before COVID, I was in a toxic relationship and it was, yeah, it felt like it came out of nowhere. Like looking back, I can see, patterns that I definitely could have had more healthy boundaries with, but it had never gotten physical. And I was thrown to the ground and kicked in the head 7 times until I know that's big. It was 4 years ago for
Share.
me, but um, but yeah, like my body even gave out and I was like, okay, this is it, and I thought thought that was it. I wasn't gonna make it. But I did. And during the healing from the brain damage, thankfully I have strong bones, so that's good. But during the healing of the brain damage, it was very, I was still in the same area. It was very unsafe. And COVID, honestly, it gave me the break that I needed to heal and to go within and the time. Um, so yeah, like I basically felt that, I need all of the healing. I need all of the healing right now. I can't, like, I didn't really feel like I had any choice because, um, like I never wanted that to happen again,
Yeah.
and like, how did I get to that point? How did I put myself in that situation?
Yeah.
And, I was going through all the physical healing, which took quite some time. And, the mental and the emotional healing and the spiritual healing just kind of came with it. And during COVID, after moving out of that area where it was much safer, um, I went back from California to Texas, and I kind of just like was a hermit at my parents' lake house, because they weren't very supportive with being patient with my healing. Dantes, it's okay.
Yeah,
He's whining. So
of course. He's feeling it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I really just needed
Mm,
some time to myself because I needed to be safe. I couldn't remember like 5 sentences into a conversation. Like it was really hard to find the words and remember my vocabulary because all of
mhm.
the injuries were on the left side of my head.
Yeah.
And to remember anything, oh my God. Let alone like do your own taxes.
Yeah.
Oh, like all of the paperwork with the court system
Mhm,
of all the medical bills and just everything. It was a lot, and
mhm,
not having like actual real support, but just people that, allowed you to stay in their house, which is a
mhm,
great thing, my
mhm,
parents, but they really just did it not to actually give support because they don't know how to give,
mhm, mhm,
but to feel like they were and to feel like good people.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
And not like really be honest about the situation. So after going to the lake house, I had peace and quiet.
mhm,
And I found, as many of us did, I found on through Facebook groups and during the shutdowns and
mhm,
everything,
mhm,
I found some meditation groups, and I was reintroduced into meditation. And it really opened a lot for me, like how to set healthy boundaries, what those are, how to connect to my feelings. Like
mhm,
as a child, my parents had a nice big house, but
mhm,
they were not emotionally stable at
mhm,
all. And
mhm.
so learning like, oh yeah, no, that was definitely like not healthy.
Yeah, you weren't safe to express your feelings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wasn't safe. It wasn't
yeah,
safe for me to have healthy
yeah.
boundaries as a kid. It wasn't
Mhm,
safe for me to have my own feelings as a kid. Any
mhm,
time my own personality came out and it wasn't like the role that I was fulfilling or the way that I should be for my parents, then it was like, oh no, you're not feeling that way and you should feel this way. And it just so I was really disconnected, and
mhm,
that beginning of that healing process with the physical and the emotional and the spiritual awakenings beginning to happen during this time, because it was really like I was deconstructing all of those barriers that I had been conditioned into,
yeah.
that I believed that I had no idea like how to, not self-sacrifice to be a
Mhm,
good person,
mhm,
and how to connect with my feelings, how to connect with my heart, how to
mm,
connect with my body.
yeah.
And it wasn't easy in the beginning. Somebody
Mm,
asked me how I felt, I would just start crying. I'm like,
mm,
oh, I don't know, like, because
some mumbo
it was,
jumbo.
yeah, it was this,
Yeah.
there
Mm,
was this like really trauma response and trigger associated with it.
mhm,
And once I learned like, and I started to have much healthier relationships, that was safe to set healthy boundaries and to not just people please everybody else,
mhm,
like
mhm,
of course I had been exhausted all of my life. Like I was in hospitality. I made a whole career out of people pleasing
mhm,
because if I was
mhm,
nice and I did everything for everybody else, then they would be nice to me. And it,
mm.
it just
Yeah.
to let go of all of that today, and like it's really like not that much time. And that
No,
that was really not that much time, but
no,
in
it's
this time it's like
amazing.
it's profound.
Yeah,
It
it
is so
is.
profound because
Mhm,
where I started and where I am now, it's so fulfilling, and it's so
mm,
wholesome, and like
yeah.
I'm traveling. I am in this last transitionary period of finding my place in the world in
Mhm,
Europe and
mhm,
settling down and,
mhm,
buying a house
mhm,
and living the rest of my life. But like
mm.
the
Yeah.
peace that I have within my soul, within my body,
Yeah.
like fundamentally with grace of our humanity and the
Yeah.
ebbs and flows,
Mm,
like it's so profound, and it's
Yeah,
something that I get to have for the rest of my life. And I'm just
exactly.
incredibly grateful, and for
Exactly.
amazing friends like Simone.
Ah,
Just like
yeah.
the
Mhm.
friendships,
Yeah.
everything around you changes once you
Changes.
choose the healing path, and that you
Mhm.
want something healthy for
Mhm.
your life and
Mhm.
yourself. And
Mhm.
yeah,
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The steps you've taken, and it's really poignant that your journey began prior to these original COVID shutdowns and what happened there, because that's a commonality. And what I'm finding is that's why a lot of my work is around helping people understand and helping people through, obviously through the healing programs, but the collective and your personal awakening. My personal awakening was a lot older, so that I could a lot longer, a lot it's been a long journey so that I could come in and help at this collective point. A lot of people's severe awakening in their personal lives has been in this time frame that you've just spoken of, because it's almost like you get a knock, literally a shove, and sorry
yeah,
for the
it's okay. No,
it's okay, because
I'm
I
good
know
now.
now that you are
Yeah, I'm
incredible.
good
What you've
now.
done 4
Yeah.
years, where you've gone, oh my God. Like I know this, so that the steps you've taken to get from the US to come out to Europe, the traveling you've done, the amount of independence you have, the amount of strength you have, and Dante's being your helper. And I know this, I've driven with the pair of you, and he's incredible spiritual. The animals are incredible, and they're so supportive right now. So but that poignant, that pivotal moment and where you've come to now is huge, and I want to go in. I just want to ask a couple of things around where to for you now, because I know we've talked about it personally, but because of all these steps you've taken along your healing pathway, um, you've now come to a point where it's this where to from now, and building the vision and building the dream in these new realities. Okay,
Yes.
not in this, we need to exist in this 3D world realm, but we draw from multidimensionality, multi realms, and
Mm.
our whole perspective shifts, so that the timeline shifts, right? So that we step into a certain timeline where we can create a new reality, and that's what you've done. And so I want to talk to I want you to light up a little bit now about the vision and where you're going now, and Italy and the whole thing, as much as you want to share, just to give that perspective to the listeners. So please.
Sure. Sure. I think like one of the best places to start with building the life that you really desire, that's healthy, that's fulfilling, that's where your soul is embodied in your body.
Mhm.
Um, is the first thing, as long as we do our best day to day, just do our best.
Mhm.
When we go to sleep at night, we're not thinking about and beating ourselves up about it, feeling guilty. Oh, I didn't do this, this, and this, and this on that checklist. Like, if you just reframe this a little bit, it makes such a huge difference. Did I do my best today?
Mhm.
Like, that's all you can do. Of
Mhm.
course, like if
Mhm.
if you told your best friend, that's all you can do.
Mhm.
And to give yourself grace.
Mhm.
And it gets easier with practice.
Mhm.
If it wasn't your best, okay, you can try again,
Mhm.
and that's it. Like, give yourself compassion and grace. And like I
Mhm.
said, practice with everything in life, it
Mhm.
gets easier.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, during my hermit phase of the healing, it's quite long. It was a
It's
quite
good.
long hermit
It's
phase.
good.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it was good, but it got a little weird. It was pretty fun for me, but I had started a spiritual awakening about, I don't know, like 10 years before this happened to me, where the injuries and things.
Yeah.
And I took a big break so that I wouldn't become bitter in life. I was just like, okay,
Mhm.
no, I'm just
Mhm.
gonna live right now
Mhm.
in these things.
Mhm.
So when I was in this safe hermit phase and alone in this little house, next to nature, and nobody was outside. Maybe I see four dog owner friends once a week. Like, that was
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
nice.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but I got to awaken and I got to explore the spirituality and a lot of the messages. It was like the floodgates opened because I had
Mhm,
repressed my intuition
mhm,
and my gifts
mhm,
for so long.
mhm,
And then it was like, whoo, here we go. Like, it
mhm,
was a little
mhm,
scary at first. I'm
mhm,
like, what is this?
mhm,
Um, but those things have become, those practices with the sage in the house and
mhm,
cleansing the
mhm,
energy
mhm,
and connecting to my well and wise guides,
mhm,
not the crazy ancestors,
mhm,
the sane
mhm,
ones that want to
mhm,
help you and awaken
mhm.
the inherent knowledge in your body.
Discernment,
Um,
discernment of what's
yeah,
out there, through layers,
yeah.
releasing of the
But
layers. Yeah, yeah,
learning how to set healthy boundaries
yeah,
through the veil in
yeah,
those layers
yeah.
and like building those relationships and then having it manifest, like asking for community, lighting the candles, doing the ceremony, putting
Mhm,
the rose petals in a
mhm,
bowl of water
mhm,
and doing the incense and
mhm,
asking my well and wise guides, please, I need in-person
mhm,
community with
mhm,
this. I want to talk about what's happening in the
mhm,
meditations. And I think 3 days later, I walked into this little shop in like this very small town in Texas outside of Houston, which is
mhm,
not a normal place where you find these communities. And
mhm,
they invited me to meditation. The ladies
mhm.
that worked at the shop, they were like, I just feel like I need to call you in. They started out with 10 people. And by the time I left 3 months later, they had like 50 to 75 people at a
Great,
time and in this
great,
meditation. And it
great.
was amazing to
Yeah.
share community and just
Mhm,
like manifestation like that.
mhm, mhm,
So leaning into that surrender, leaning into that trust,
mhm,
knowing that I'm doing my best
mhm,
like as I can and I'm
mhm,
showing myself grace as I
mhm,
can
mhm,
day by day and I'm growing. You don't
mhm,
learn, when you're a baby,
mhm,
you don't learn how to run the first time you try to walk. It
mhm.
takes practice and all
Exactly.
it is step by step by step, just
Mhm,
one foot in front of the other.
mhm.
And so with the timeline shifts, as I started to
Mm.
explore,
As
get
Europe started to
familiar.
drop in, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I had a past life regression.
Mm-hmm.
And in this meditation that my friend hosted for me,
Mm-hmm.
I saw a vision of the life that I wanted.
Nice.
And like, yeah, and like three
Nice.
months later, I left. I went on a road trip, said bye to all my friends around
Mm-hmm.
the States,
Mm-hmm.
and I followed my meditations to Europe at the end of COVID. I moved to Italy,
Mm-hmm.
and that brought me to Croatia, and I
Mm-hmm.
met you.
Yes.
And and then with like visas and a
Mm.
lot of the 3D
Oh,
stuff and
stuff.
changes,
Yeah.
like being patient, going through the ebbs and
Mm-hmm.
flows,
Mm-hmm.
feeling the feelings, going through the frustration,
Mm.
like, oh my God, this
Sitting
isn't
in
working.
it, not pushing it
Oh,
away. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it can be
Yeah.
life can get frustrating and
Oh,
that's
damn
okay.
straight.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like
Mm.
sacred
Mm.
anchor is also okay if
Mm-hmm.
it's
Damn
absolutely
straight. Mm-hmm.
really important
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's just part of our experience.
Part of our
So,
release as well, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So now, after, I don't know, like definitely over a year
Mm.
of almost every day when I wake up
Mm-hmm.
before I get out of bed and I'm
Mm-hmm.
still like not all the way awake, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I call it in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I call it my most favorite
Mm-hmm.
abundant and loving timeline full
Mm-hmm.
of laughter and joy
Mm-hmm.
and healthy
Mm-hmm.
connections and
Mm-hmm.
friendship,
Mm-hmm.
generosities of strangers
Mm-hmm.
and consideration because I
Mm-hmm.
give a lot. I'm very
Mm-hmm.
thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
And to call those things in, and you know what? Like
Receiving.
so
Mm.
much, yeah, being open to receiving is so huge,
Mm-hmm.
so huge.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you're stepping into the unknown and you're manifesting, you're calling it in.
Yeah.
and then letting it go and trusting that the universe has got
Exactly.
your back.
Well, the unknown is a big thing right now. The unknown and the uncertainty, and I want to point that out for everyone, is we need to lean into the unknown and the uncertainty, because this is where we're at now. This 3D layer has been shaken, and it has been shaken for a reason. And so the learning and the embodiment and the integration through the healing work is how we get to this place where we can sit in that with the feeling of safety in our own vulnerability. That's a big
Yeah.
part, you know,
Well,
so.
knowing
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
we are ourselves,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
knowing that we're doing our best, and like having that be like, no matter what,
Yes, that's the wisdom.
I am okay because I do, I am who I am.
Yes,
And it's not about fulfilling any role. It's not about any of these
yes,
things. It's like
yes.
you can lean into the unknown safely because, if anything were to happen, like
Yep.
I'm okay because I'm okay with where I am and who I am right now.
And you've built the tools. There's some tools that we can use, and the tools are what we use to support ourselves through this time. And I love that. And I love how you've gone from 4 years ago, right, to now. And you're currently,
So
yeah, it's
close.
so
It's so
close, but it's
close.
so fast. And the shifts are so fast that it's almost like there's an element of us keeping up with the shift and being open to the plasma, the like stuff that's going on out there, to integrate and bring it
Yeah.
into our world and our own journey.
I
And
think
you,
something that's helped with the pivots
yeah,
Something that's helped with the pivots, because there have been many.
yeah.
Croatia, I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting, and I just don't want to go back to the States because it's weird, and and
Yeah, it's
that's
not for
just for
you.
me. It's not an energetic match for me. I just
No,
don't have
it's not
any
out of
desire.
alignment. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
to get to Italy, I have to get a visa in a different country before I can apply or go
Mm-hmm,
back to the States.
mm-hmm,
So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and then I'm like, I'm tired of waiting.
mm-hmm, mm,
And so I went to Bosnia,
mm-hmm,
and then I went to Romania, and it was
mm-hmm,
quite nice. And then
mm-hmm,
they extended like their Schengen time
mm-hmm,
to go until April.
mm-hmm.
So I was there in January, and
Magic.
I'm like, okay, I'll just stay here for a little bit. And like what's opened up is just like with this practice, okay, I'm waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. I have to change apartments all these times. Like, what's going on? Okay, I'll go to Bosnia. Okay, this was weird. I need to change cities. I don't like meditation, so I need to get out of here a little unsafe. All right, pivot, let's go.
Yeah, yeah,
Sarcasm is helpful. And
yeah.
then being in Romania, it was really nice. And then I wanted more community. So I've been starting to be around a lot of these co-working, living,
Mhm,
nomad
mhm,
experiences that are
mhm,
like at least a month long, or
mhm,
they have a permanent place.
mhm.
And I was in one in Bucharest and around a lot of people. And it's like this is actually the first time that I'm in a household with
Mhm,
lots of other people all the
mhm,
time. And
mhm,
I thought it was going to be scary. I thought it was going to be
mhm,
like draining, and
mhm.
it hasn't at all. And I've had such the like most healthy connections and people around, even in transit. So to let
Yeah.
go of like, how are these things going to happen? And to trust and to lean into that and like do your best, take rest when you need it.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
like
allowing that and allowing yourself to that and allowing the synchronicities to drop in because of the work, not from over hyper doing. It's not
yeah,
this hyper doing
yeah.
anymore. That's not the energy anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And it's
Going back
a,
to those more ancient
yeah,
ways of like,
ancient ways.
yeah, it's
And this
and
is important that we bring this up, because this is there's a lot of, there's a lot of information and social media and all this. This work allows you to drop into your feeling center, to drop into your discernment, to drop into your all those teachings and learnings, and therefore you call the bullshit, excuse my language. You can call the bullshit after a while, you see it. Whereas when you're scatterbrained and you haven't done any work, you're looking here, you're looking for the next shiny object. And what's the actual work? Like, no, 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 no. Get still, drop in and find that truth, it's hugely important. Can I pivot here for a little bit? I want to pivot into I want to talk about, because you're one of the people that I've worked with that you are a worker, you are a light worker, spiritual worker, you're a healer. So you're not my person who's obviously just doing their own work and that's it. You've got a collective component. Okay. You and I have done some work together where you have had to you're working on, like me, something that is a particular thing that's in the collective that's almost out of you. And you need to go through that process to heal that. And I know that we've done some work together in a high held space for you. And I just want you to talk about that a little bit, just in case there are some listeners that are feeling like, hang on a minute, I've done lots of this or whatever, and I feel like this thing is just hanging around. I don't know what it is, and I want to break it. Right.
It's interesting because
Yeah.
I'm going to do some of that work today.
Oh, good.
When
Good.
we get off the call.
Good.
Today is a full moon,
Yeah.
and I am around really healthy community, and
Mm-hmm.
there are
Mm-hmm.
three of us that are going to do a sound bowl meditation and
Mm-hmm.
then a chakra cleansing, and then
Mm.
we're going to open up that space
Mm.
and
Good.
go there.
Good.
I think like in the beginning, we all tend to, when we're carrying people, we tend to take on other people's problems.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard to separate at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
what's mine and what's not.
It's collective. Mm.
Yeah. And then what's
Well,
collective.
then what's collective? Yeah, which is, I
Yeah,
think, where
then
we
what's
went.
collective.
It was collective, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
but
More than
the
other
the the
people's.
thing
Yeah.
is that when we do this work, like those of us who are good people, who are caring, who are empathetic, who are just, we want better for our lives. We want humanity to grow, right? And
Mm-hmm. Mm.
come
Of
together,
course.
get out of this bullshit.
Mm.
And so when we heal and when we go within, we're a part of it. We're made, we're part of the earth, like we're a part of the collective.
Mm-hmm.
So when we heal, we help heal the collective.
Mm.
That's where the bridging of the gaps is.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some of
Uh-huh.
us, not all of us, and you don't have to do it.
Oh no,
But
well,
there
it's not,
are some
not
of us,
everyone's called to that. No, no, no. That's a
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
There
yeah.
are some of us
Yeah.
that have been born in this timeline, and it's been a while since we've been reincarnated
Mm-hmm.
and are here. But people like Simone and people
Mm-hmm.
like me
Mm-hmm.
are here to drastically help heal the collective and the timelines. I
Yeah.
remember being in Bosnia in this small little town, which is probably the only reason why I was there, one of
Mm-hmm.
them. It
Mm-hmm.
was a learning experience, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was called to do a little bit deeper collective work where I go in and I open a space. Again, don't do this because
No,
it's
no,
not,
no, no, no. This is
don't
not.
do
No,
this.
no, no.
I go in and I open a space,
No.
and it's basically the intention and what I've been called to do through my angels and my well and wise guides
Mm-hmm.
is to open this space and kind of create a wormhole that brings us into this timeline where we are growing, where we're not out of in this anxious, fear-based thing,
Mm-hmm.
and pulling that heaven, right? That
Mm-hmm.
heaven in that
Mm-hmm.
timeline, that dimension,
Mm-hmm.
pulling it here now
Mm-hmm.
into
The
this
hardest portal.
3D
Mm-hmm.
physical. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of these times are happening, because that
Mm.
shift has already
Of
happened
course. Of
now.
course. Yeah.
And we are starting to, those of us who are doing the work, we're
Mm-hmm.
starting to see the goodness, the synchronicities, the abundance.
Mm-hmm.
And this old paradigm and what we were conditioned and born into, like
Mm-hmm.
it's fighting for survival. They're not
Mm-hmm.
even hiding anymore with
Oh
what's
no,
happening.
no, 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 no,
Like
no, no,
everything's
no.
very on the surface
Oh yeah. It's
because
breaking down. It's
it's
breaking
breaking
down and the
down.
veils are
Yeah.
thin. Yeah, the veils
And
are thin.
one of the times through that portal in the collective, there felt like it was like black tar, right?
Yes, that's
It
right.
was it had like come in and not like how the dinosaurs are made into oil.
Mm.
It wasn't
Mm.
like that. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
like a transmutation. It was
Mm.
like an otherworldly. thing that feeds off the fear, and
Mm,
it feeds off that anxiety, and it puts doubt in your mind, and
mhm,
all of these things. And like, you don't have to listen to it. You can be like, wait a minute.
mhm,
No, yeah, maybe that wasn't my best reaction or whatever, or what, I don't know. Okay, where did that come from? Oh, that was this little, just notice it. You don't
mm,
have to live there. You could just
no,
notice it and
mm,
not go into that spiral and beat
mm,
yourself up. And that's how you pull yourself out,
mm.
You can
But
come
it's,
back up.
yeah, and sometimes we need support in that, and
Absolutely.
I think when we did our session, I think it was around this black tile, wasn't it? The first one or the
Yeah.
second one? I can't remember
Yeah,
which
no,
one
it
it
was this
was,
one.
but
I felt like
mm,
there was this
mm,
there were some weird, chaotic things happening. I was in a different country. Random people would
yeah.
start yelling at me. I'm like not even talking to them. And I tried to do all the cord cutting and the
Yeah.
healing. And I did everything I knew how to do. And then I felt like this weird, like, gravitational pull on one of my feet.
Mm,
And I was like, this isn't mine. I know
mhm,
this isn't mine. I've done
mhm,
everything I can. I
mhm,
need support. And so I came
mm,
to Simone, and
mm,
we went in, and she was able to lift some of that.
mm. That was huge, wasn't it?
It was
That
really
was,
big. It was really, oh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's the amount of what we find through the, whether it's past life connection, DNA out in the ethers, whether it's certain things embedded in the subconscious mind, but usually we're going beyond that when we're looking at collective. So it's it was powerful, and it was just an honor to hold space in that way for someone who is so deeply connected and
And
so
that last
and
collective
working so hard.
that last collective thing you did
Oh
was
yeah.
that one. I would love for you to talk about that one.
Yeah. Oh, which one was that, darling?
With
Which time?
the ancestors around the fire and the women.
Oh, I'm trying to, yeah, because we were up in a state then. What were we doing? I need to, you remind me what we're working on because I have to go into the
There
space.
was this lady in the town. It was like a physical thing.
That's, yes,
I was walking my dog. I was there
yes,
at the same place for 2.5 months, and the last week she
that's
just
right.
decided to come, and I
Yes,
was her arch nemesis,
yes,
and she would come and yell at me in a
yeah,
different language, knowing I didn't understand her,
yes,
like getting
yes,
closer physically to me.
yes, yes,
It was
yes.
just really weird.
Yes, yeah, I remember that. And then I remember where we went and we ended up being, see, this was past life. And I remember we were sitting in a circle and we burnt it off. So she was actually not, she was actually trying to draw something attention to you. She actually wasn't. So funnily, when we went into this past life, when we went into this memory, she actually was not a black witch. She was actually part of a circle, she was trying to draw attention to you. I remember that she was trying to tell you something. She's trying to communicate with you and to bring something in this life. And that's what it was. That's what it was. And now I'm going back into it. And it's like, I remember when we went there and we burnt off a whole bunch of stuff. And then you went into a zone and we really worked with Mother Earth there. And we really worked with the Divine Feminine and to twist, to see a situation in the negative in this life, in this world, in this 3D, and then to be able to go into a place where you and I went, where I took you, and then to see and to witness what the actual message is. It just
Yeah,
completely transmutes it. It
it
completely
did.
and it
It
did,
did.
right?
When
And
we
now,
when we went into the so I
oh,
couldn't
it was so cool.
fathom why this lady was like screaming
Yeah,
at me,
yeah.
and
Wasn't
I
about
needed
you.
help. I tried everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
Simone
yeah,
had a deep meditation,
yeah.
and we did some cleansing. We went through
Mm,
different realms, and
mm,
then we were brought into this forest, this dark
yeah,
forest,
that's
around
right.
this circle of
Yeah.
ancient women, of
Mm,
ancient healers.
yes.
And they were all sitting around the campfire,
Mm,
and then she asked
I can
what
see
the
it now.
message was from
Mhm.
this crazy, intrusive, very triggering
Yeah,
lady.
and I can't always remember all the details because I go off,
Yeah. She
Yeah,
came
yeah,
out,
yeah,
she came
yeah,
out in the
yeah.
meditation and was
Oh yeah.
like, don't end up like me.
That's it.
And she was like, don't end up like me, like
Mm,
very bitter and very
mm,
angry, and just like this energy was using this
yeah.
old lady as a channel.
Yeah. And also, because what I remember now, she was saying also that I remember her saying that you don't have to now because you have different stuff available to you. I didn't have that available in my timeline in those times, in those dark agey times.
Yeah.
I didn't have that, but now you're in this. So she was
Yeah.
just trying again, like the incident, call to attention. That
Yeah.
call to attention, and we can't always. And what my point here is that you've done a lot of work, and but even me, we still need someone else some time to just come in that is skilled at that level, that is able to find this stuff. This is not early entry work, man. This is years of self-work, years of study, years, and then years of being able to open the channel so that the highest information and embodiment and stuff and past lives, whatever it is, can drop right in, so we can
But
just instant heal.
yeah. But being open to
Yeah,
receiving those
of
messages,
course. Well, you
like
damn well
you
were
as a
as
host,
well.
you know,
Yeah,
even anyone who is any of you
yeah,
who are on the beginning of your spiritual journey, um, the sometimes these messages don't first come, but sometimes they can.
yeah.
And if you are willing, and what is really special about Simone, because she has held space for me because of our friendship
Mm,
and how she shows up and lives her life embodied and
mm,
does this work every
mm.
day, even when it's hard.
Yeah,
And
it is.
and like
Mm,
but
mm.
the way that she holds space is so gentle. It's not like a car wreck. It's not like the things that I've been through that brought me to enlightenment. It's like she can hold space for you in a way that um even if it like you can, if you're open to receiving those messages, you can have them.
Yeah.
And it's such a heartfelt, grounded, centered space,
Mm,
and it's so
mm,
loving and safe
mm.
there. And I'm so grateful for those things
Thank
because,
you.
like, yeah, this
Mm.
collective work is not easy. I am
No.
going to do it, and we need community. Like
Oof.
that's why we invent
Oof.
societies and language,
Yeah, of
all of these
course.
things,
Of
because
course. Yeah.
we crave community so
Yeah.
much,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's necessary. And when we come together like that, that little shift of perspective is just like, oh, okay, wow. And then it lifts. And
Uh,
then you integrate the lesson and
yeah.
you're just, then you don't have to like have this repeated
Yeah.
cycle. Like, I got it. And those things,
Exactly.
you're like, oh,
Exactly.
it's like the light
Yeah,
bulb. And
yeah,
it's,
yeah, exactly. Oh, I love it. I've got one more little question for you. Like, what would you say to someone who's sitting on the fence and afraid to step into their healing? What would you just say to them? If you haven't already said it in this time we've been together. There's anything that you want to say in that.
what's stopping you from living your truth?
Oof,
That
love it.
makes me want to cry.
Yeah, it
Like
makes me want to cry too, like, because
that's what came through.
yeah, it's beautiful.
It could be the
Yeah,
scariest
yeah,
but most loving thing you could ever do.
yeah,
I
beautiful.
am so grateful
Yeah.
day to day, and the synchronicities, and
Yeah.
just really like it is insane. It is
Mm.
insane.
Yeah.
And how
Yeah. In the most
everything's
powerful way.
dropping in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
Mm.
everything's dropping in right now.
Yeah.
And for the rest of my life, like I'll have that house in less than a year. I will
Hmm.
have not one but two visas in like 2 months.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Yeah. Ah.
and I have community
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
It's so even in this transitory state of I'm only here for like a month, or I'm only here for 3 weeks, or I'm only here for 2 months,
Yeah.
maybe. Like the healthy relationships that the
Yeah.
universe is bringing are profound. And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to mean that you have to quit your job. It doesn't have to
No.
mean that you have to start a new family or move
No.
or anything. You can just start right where you are.
Mhm.
What are the fundamental things that
Mhm.
make you happy? What
Mhm.
are the fundamental things that bring you joy? And what do you truly desire for your life?
Mm.
And it just like, how do you to just baby steps, like
Yeah, to find that peace, baby steps. Yes, yes,
baby steps, and
yes,
just do your best. Okay, I want these things. I want this joy. What can you do to bring in that into your daily routine, just
yeah,
little by little?
yeah.
Okay, if you like to, you know, like asking for support if you have kids and you have a family and you're
Mm,
like, I just really need some time to myself for
mhm.
like 30 minutes to an hour a day, you know, and ask your partner, hey, can you support me this way?
Yes,
Or ask a good friend,
yes,
hey, can you babysit one day a week or
yes,
like on the weekends or like something? And just, I just need this time and to have quiet time to do
yep,
whatever like heart, what do you need from me today?
yep.
Body, what do you need from me
Mhm,
today? And
mhm,
find ways to bring that in. And if
mhm.
you can't do that by yourself, find that support, invite that in, be open to receiving it. We
Mm.
don't have to do everything by ourselves. We're
Yummy.
meant to have community. And
Yes,
yeah, I
yes.
think that
Oh,
is
nails it. Thank you. I wrote that. I love that. What's stopping you from living your truth? I love that. And I want to leave the audience, the listeners on that note, what's stopping you from living your truth, and I just want to say thank you to you, Jade, for coming on here and just being so expansive and so honest and so authentic and so real and exposing your true self. That's what this pathway is all about. And I love you for that. And I thank you. And I know that there are going to be a lot of people that are going to enjoy this broadcast. So once again, thank you, my beautiful lady. And from my heart to yours. And we'll sign out now. Okay.
thank you
All
so much.
right. So much love. Yeah. Bye. All right. Let's stop this recording.